Welcome back. One final point before we go. The Science March hits Washington, D.C. tomorrow. Thousands of scientists and non-scientists like Bill Nye plan to march. Anybody's welcome. They say diverse perspectives will be represented unless you're a climate change denier, and then perhaps you should be prosecuted instead if you ask their co-chair, Bill Nye. Yeah, my question to the marchers tomorrow: if climate change scientists can't tell me exactly to what degree my actions impact the climate, why should I believe any of their dire predictions about carbon emissions? None of their predictions have come true in the past. We still have polar bears. The polar ice caps are still floating up north. We didn't die from an ice age by the year 2000. Our food sources are not extinct, nor are we all starving due to frigid temperatures. We have not, in the Western world, resorted to cannibalism due to these predicted food shortages. England still exists. It's neither Siberia nor underwater. The 50 million climate refugees expected to be fleeing the Pacific Islands and flooding the West are still nowhere to be seen, not a single one. Entire nations supposed to be wiped off the map, they're still here. The Himalayan glaciers are not on their way to be melted by the year 2035. California is not flooded with inland seas, unless I'm sitting in a boat right now. The Netherlands is still habitable. Children still know what snow is. The Arctic still enjoys ice in the summer. We have suffered no devastating increases in raging fires, crippling droughts, nor powerful storms. In fact, just the opposite. Wildfires have plummeted by 15% since 1950. The UN itself admitted global droughts have become less frequent, less intense, and shorter, and we have not yet faced climate catastrophe or certain doom. So let me ask you marchers, why then should we believe the climate scientists or the politicians who preach the climate change agenda when none of these dire predictions and warnings have ever come true? Why didn't any of the predictions come true? Weren't they based on science? Or maybe they weren't. Do we know how much, to what degree our actions, our carbon emissions, impact the climate and the environment? How do we know other factors aren't more significant in their impact? Why can't climate change scientists name numbers in answer to that question if, in fact, their agenda is based on verifiable, empirical scientific evidence? And why should we trust the judgment of so-called climate experts anyway when they falsified data at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association to create urgency to rush to a deal at the Paris Climate Accords? And to you marchers, even if all these things were true, and it seems really, really unlikely that they are based on numbers, history, and actual scientific evidence, what difference would legislation enacted by the United States actually make in the changing climate of the Earth? I look forward to hearing your answers tomorrow. But for now, that's my final point. You can reach me on Twitter at Liz_Wheeler. If you liked the show, please send me an email at oann.com/contact. In the meantime, catch us here tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. And until then, have a good night.